Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Everybody is doing well. If you are an avid viewer, right? Show your support. Takes a second out, guys. All I ask is take a second out, click the like button, share, subscribe if you haven't done so already. So, one of my favorite sketch comedies, right? In Living Color was great. Saturday Night Live, classic. I used to love the Shapiro show, like a lot of you guys do. One of my favorite recurring characters on the Shapiro show was Charlie Murphy, right? Eddie Murphy's older brother. And the most classic, iconic scene of Charlie Murphy's true Hollywood stories was when he's always getting into fights with Rick James. And if you guys remember, one of the most classic episodes, when Rick James comes to Eddie Murphy's house with muddy boots, gets on the couch and goes, "Yo, couch." Mark had said, "Get rest day." Can you please bleep out what I just said? We don't want to get yelled at, right? Yeah, F your rest day is right. After this incredible move yesterday on the QQQs, what did the market do for an encore? Oh, went up another 1.6%, right? Market feels like it's on a runaway train right now. At some point today, it felt like it was the last day to buy stock. It was like, it was parabolic. It was euphoric. I'm running out of superlatives, like kind of what to describe what today was. At one point, there were no downticks. There were no downticks into rising 60-minute support. And all these stocks that we talked about yesterday, and we'll get to the pivots in a second, but all the stocks we talked about yesterday, they went out of their minds, right? They just literally went out of their minds. And it really does show you how technicals meets news, meets option flow, and then that train just completely ran out of brakes because we're just going 1,000 miles an hour. Is this sustainable? Of course not, right? Of course not. I mean, look at the move, guys. Look at the move. The Qs have gone from April the 7th, where May the 13th. So we're talking about a week, right? A month and 1 day, a month and 1 week, right? 40 days, 37 days, right? The QQQs have gone from 402 to 517, right? Is it sustainable? Absolutely not. At some point, are you going to put yourself in a position chasing day 3, day 4, day 5? Absolutely. You're going to get absolutely destroyed. So kind of going back to even last night's video, avoid the stocks that are up 4, 5, 6, 7 days above their pivots, right? If you guys remember yesterday, everything we talked about yesterday was not 6, 7, 8 days above their pivots. It was, right, coming out of channels, right? We talked about yesterday PLTR. Again, all you got to watch is last night's video. We talked about PLTR. We covered the fact that it didn't get hit because it had bad earnings. It got hit because it was priced into this magical move. PLTR went out of its mind today, right? Roblox we talked about last night. Guys, remember Roblox? Again, Roblox had a macro channel, right? Went out of its mind today. Okay, you have names, for example, like Apple, finally waking up, right? Finally waking up, reclaiming back the 50-day moving average with one more day to potentially start going, right? You had NVDA. We talked about NVDA yesterday. NVIDIA is a runaway train. Tesla at one point today, it looked like it was going to 1,000. Not really exaggerating. It really looked like it was going to 1,000. So is this an amazing tape right now? Absolutely. I think if you are a two-sided trader, especially if you've been with me for a very long time, you kind of see now both sides of the market. We lost the 50-day moving average in February. We had a phenomenal wash for about 2 months. Now we're above the 50-day moving average, and this is just violence, right? Violence to the upside. Again, is this sustainable? Absolutely. Again, we should see a pretty aggressive at some point, right? I have no idea. Maybe we still continue to go higher tomorrow, right? I have no idea. Again, I'm just preparing for the next day. I couldn't tell you where these stocks are going to go, but you can't think for a second we're going to keep them going up every single day, every single day. It feels like it. You'd like it to, but again, reality kicks in, reality kicks in. So again, am I going to participate tomorrow to the upside? You're damn right we will, because again, that's where we are. But I'm leaving the overextended stocks alone. And again, it's better to be one day early than one day late, because again, if you are trading a stock, for example, Tesla broke out above 295, right? Broke out at 295. If tomorrow you're buying it at 340, you're doing something wrong. If your first entry tomorrow is at 34, 50 points above its channel break, you're doing something wrong. Not necessarily does Tesla not go higher. It looks phenomenal. We've seen 350 weeklies. We saw some 370 weeklies come in. We saw NVIDIA, the monster calls today, nonstop. We saw 132s, 133s, 135s. So it's not the point these stocks can't go higher, but you have to kind of pick your battles with safety. Some safety net is like this, and some safety net is like that. When you have that safety net, that means the stock is coming out of a range on a macro channel. When you have this safety net, you are walking on a tightrope with really a half an inch to spare of safety. So be very, very careful of stock selection. Again, you don't want to chase price performance. You want to find stocks that are just coming out of their ranges with a very, very tight stop. Because again, if you fall off the first floor, again, like we've been saying this for years, you got a skin knee. You start falling off the 12th floor, the 25th floor, the 254th floor, you die, right? You die. And the last thing you want to do is chase price performance of the stock that already made 99% of its move for you to try to get that 1% that you kind of pacify your ego just to tell yourself, yes, I caught the trade and I was absolutely in it. If you look at today's pivots, again, crazy, right? Crazy. Apple, there was a reload buyer there pretty much all morning. This is one of the very few names that hasn't busted out yet. I think there's still a day or two away from potentially busting out. It got above 1127, which was yesterday's highs. A buyer was sitting there. For what we saw, he accumulated at least 100,000 around 21140s, 21150s. It cleared out that area, cleared out the pre-market highs, 275, and Apple went nuts into the close. It hit its measured interval, right? It took out the 50-day, confirmed the 50-day. You see where it stopped? Right? It stopped right at the 64-day. All it needs to do now is reclaim that 64-day, reclaim the highs from May 1st, and you should get a move to, between 216 to 218. So again, keep an eye on Apple. It's still very, very tight, but really nice move towards the end of the day. PLTR, congratulations for all you guys who caught PLTR today. Wow, right? Wow. PLTR confirmed 121. Okay. PLTR. Look at the candle here. I just want to show you the candle. As if you didn't trade today, right? Look at the 60-minute candle. Okay, this was a 60-minute candle confirming this whole channel here. Got above the 21 and went absolutely nuts. Okay, absolutely nuts. Confirmed also the 219 highs and traded all the way up to almost 131. So you got a $10 move on PLTR. Just an absolute just craziness. Again, we talked about Roblox last night. 74.60 needs to confirm. Roblox closed at the highs of the day. Confirmed everything. Confirmed the 74.60s. Confirmed the macro channel 75.75 and traded all the way up to 77, basically within 20 cents of the highs of the day. Tesla. Let me tell you something, man. So Tesla, there was a two interval. So it confirmed 322. Confirmed the pre-market highs. The initial target was 325.40s. And the reason why the initial target was 325.40s, that was the daily supply. So it did all that, right? It did all that. It traded up to, I think, 325.80s. And then the stock sold off about $8. So we're like, wow, that's pretty much the highs. And then at lunchtime, it reclaimed 326 and put up another $10 candle. So Tesla is just going out of its mind right now. IONQ, I wasn't even watching. What did IONQ? 34 needs to build. Man, it didn't do anything. Didn't kind of died in a vine around the 34 area. So going into tomorrow, folks, again, as much as we want to continue to push, you're allowed to push. Like I said, even yesterday, even if today was a res day, it wasn't going to deter a lot of the names coming back out of the range because, again, it's kind of a rotation. So I'm going to give you guys some names for tomorrow that are not overbought, right? That's the whole point. That are not overbought in a short period of time just yet. And if they don't work, if the price action doesn't confirm, at least you got a skinny instead of buying something that's, $5, $6, $7 away from its pivot, and you could get absolutely murdered. So let's talk about it. Apple is obviously the first one. Apple, all it needs to do is reclaim back today's highs and the highs from May the 2nd. This looks really, really good. ALAB. Right? ALAB had a big move. It just needs one more day to get out of this channel. I believe it's a semiconductor play. Looks really, really good coming out of supply. You got a firm, maybe a day or two away, but you can tell they're all similar charts, right? They're still all coming out off the bottom instead of chasing them into the stratosphere. So maybe we're 1 or 2 day away of firm, but a firm does look pretty good. Look at Lyft, right? So Lyft had really good earnings, and for the last couple of days, it's just been consolidating. You can see, look at the monster volume on its earnings days, and it's been the volume has been shrinking for the last 2 days. That's good. That means the sellers are comfortable. Keep an eye on Lyft. If it starts reclaiming back yesterday's channel, this thing could really wake up as well. So it's very, very important. Oh, just as a side note, guys, I usually don't read the comments on YouTube. I apologize. It's nothing to do with you guys. It's just like I'm tired to talk about stocks with you, so I'm a little bit, decompressing. But somebody mentioned about a week ago that is there going to be a new 3.0 version of the PS60 theory. And first I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm tired, my God, blah. But, I haven't recorded one about 5-6 years. In 5-6 years, it's evolved incredibly, right? We've added more supply zones. We added, obviously, rejections. We obviously added bounce plays, new dynamics, right? New dynamics. So I thought about it. I spoke about it with Kenyon. We're going to do a 3.0 PS60 workshop sometime in June, right? I'm trying to figure out my kids' AAU schedule because they're crazy. My daughter's going to Iowa this weekend, then she's going to Albany, then she's going to Chicago, and then she's going to Kentucky. I know my son has tournaments. So I have to check my schedule, but we will do a 3.0 version of the PS60 theory. It's basically, look, if you take a trial or anything, you'll be included. I'm not going to charge me, guys. I think it's one of those things that just needs to be done, right? It just needs to be done. So we will do it at some time in June. Let me just figure out my kids' AAU schedule, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody. So hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is happy, healthy, developing in your career. Go nice and slow. Everybody develops at their own pace. And with God's help, I will see you on the field tomorrow. Take care, everybody.